Spud, one of the main things I've noticed about recording these and editing these podcasts is that I need to get a way less squeakier chair.
But you have a lovely radio voice, though. You know.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, it suits your face.
Well, face for radio. Thanks very much. Yeah, it's not when you helped me out with last week's Magic People podcast. That was a tough one sonically.
Yeah, and I'm still not happy with it. I'd love. Yeah, I'd nearly go back and start it all again, but it's about 80% happy. I'd say could have done better.
Yeah, it's just it's an odd kind of thing that like. If you can sometimes just like the whole Skype thing's perfect. Like, I mean, we should be very thankful for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to have video recordings or video conferencing, whatever that, phone call, whatever it is, with people from all around the world. But yet, oh yeah, but the quality's not perfect, man. Shut up. But there is nothing more still when you're listening to, like, you know, those podcasts and they're all like, what's that? It's like not talkback radio or some mad thing, but it's just like two people on a phone and you're going, I can't listen to this.
Yeah. It's about when it's one person, it's okay. I can go with one person on the phone. Do you know? Like,
Yeah.
I presume that, like, because we started back doing those polling podcasts, and I presume people are just listening for about 2 or 3 minutes and going, nah, I can't deal with that, because it's 5 or 6 lads on a Zoom conference call, just taking the piss out of each other and Poland, and you know, that's it. Like, so. Like, and I hate those types of podcasts. I hate those. I do. I hate those matey podcasts where it's like, this week we're going to talk about Marvel's Avengers and the lore behind it. Like just see, the thing is, I've no interest in just listening to people talk unless it's about something I'm interested in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand, but I think that then if you listen to enough of a particular podcast or thing, you get to like the person, and then you don't really care what, you know, it becomes as much about the person as the topic.
Oh yeah, so absolutely. I get that as well. Yeah. You know?
So like, I don't mind those like 5 people shouting at each other, as long as in some way I feel as a listener included in it. You know, it's not just kind of 5 lads having, you know, constant secret in jokes or, you know, that kind of thing. But if you're in on the in joke, then it's brilliant.
Yeah.
One of the chosen few.
Yeah. Less in jokes then.
It must be a nightmare of I assume everyone has a slight delay on their voice, and so by the time one person talks, by the time the 5th person hears it and talks back. Yeah,
there's that, and there's like, you know, please can everyone have a headset with a microphone on it? And no one has a microphone, or someone doesn't have a headset, or and it's just like, you know what? Like, I'm just like, you know, I'm just going to record them, put a sound at the start, a sound in the middle, and a sound at the end, and that's it. And you can listen to it if you want. You know,
there is a website, I think it's called, I'm going to be wrong here, maybe Mixler, I could be wrong, but it's like everyone kind of logs into the website and, you know, their bit is recorded each end. But like, I've used it on a couple of podcasts, a couple of times on other people's podcasts and one for myself, and like, it really doesn't work. It's like,
does it not? No.
No, in principle, it's a brilliant idea, but it's like, you know, the files come back like, I can't use that.
Zoom is supposed to do that. With Zoom, you're supposed to be able to do all of the tracks separately, but can't be doing that. Like.
Yeah, but you have to pay for that. Not, or you have to pay for more than 2 people or something. Is
it? One of the lads has it for his work or something. Because I mean, they're all teaching. Most of my mates are teaching, and they're still teaching here, even in the lockdown. Right. Would you be bothered? Like, if you were a student.
Well, you see, here's the thing. An awful lot, I don't necessarily think it's maybe the case with you, but an awful lot of the universities have to continue doing that, or they have to give everyone their money back, and that's not going to happen.
No, so it's like, spent a long time ago.
But I know there's a friend of mine, and he's still teaching guitar, doing his job through, you know, Skype and stuff like that. And he's saying he's having a great time or whatever. But I can understand it. Like, I don't know if it's his situation, but you might need the money too, you know. Like, it's like, it's all well and good going, oh, sit back and relax, and go, yeah, but like, you know, mortgage.
Yeah. No, I get that. But if I was a student, I'd be like, nah, good luck. No,
I understand from a student's point of view, like, going, but like they're talking about, especially if you put in all the work, like say here in Ireland, where you're, you know, for your leaving cert or your junior cert or whatever it is, and then you're probably going to be told in about 3 weeks that the year is cancelled and you have to do it all again.
What a nightmare, huh?
Oh man, of all the things, like the leaving cert is such an annoyance in the best years, but then be told, oh yeah, you have to do it again.
Yeah, you have to do it again,
You know,
like-
your life has been put on hold for a year. When you're 17, it's just the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I think I'd be on the end of a rope. So I would. Yeah, I was the most depressed teenager you would ever have met, and yeah, that would have pushed me over the edge for sure. If I knew I had to do an extra year in school, like no, that would have been me over. Or else I would have joined a building site. Or what else can you do to leave school? The army. No, I wouldn't have done the army because I was such a hippie pacifist.
Well, you can just go into dole. Oh, you
Well,
you can't until you're 18.
Yeah. Do a lot of fast courses. Hey, I don't know.
You know.
How are you getting on over there? Because I think there's more panic in Ireland than where I am.
Yeah, well, you see, we're a week behind you essentially in many ways. In other ways, I think we're kind of flattening the curve a bit quicker than you are. But that's probably because, well, I was going to say that's a population thing, but it's not because it's statistics, so it doesn't make sense. I know one of the nights someone put up a statistic. Like, I mean, it's hard to know what's true, what's not. So I'm only saying someone on the internet who it seemed right at the time and didn't seem to contradict anything else was saying that, say, Saturday night, the cases are meant to go up exponentially 30% every day. That's
Sure.
the curve.
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
And there was 958 less cases than expected on that particular day. But that was the day after the new kind of lockdown thing, which was so weird. I did a video about it, and it was kind of, because I said I'll do a video fairly quick while I'm a bit freaked to, be authentic about it or try and capture the mood, because it's easy then to come back and, try to go, well, I was really freaked yesterday. Oh, it was terrible, but anyway. And it was like kind of saying that you weren't allowed out of the house with people who you live with, unless it was with children, and even then the children had to be 2 meters away from you. And the kind of
how do you do that?
It was so weird, the kind of thing. And then the next day they went, oh yeah, no, that's not it at all. Which I assume it was the thing. And then they went, oh yeah, people aren't going to. So it's kind of there's no difference really in the lockdown other than this 2 kilometer thing. Like, because they're saying all essential businesses have to be closed, and for the most part, all essential businesses were closed. Like all the pet shops, the jewelry shops and stuff were closed, already. Yeah. But I don't know how it works with. Maybe there's more factories closed or something. I don't really know. But the Saturday was it was very panicky in our locale anyway. There was a lot of queues outside Super Value, and still no pasta. I mean, like, so.
No.
That's
mad. Yeah. Maybe the shops will start letting in that Barilla pasta now. You might be homophobic, but we really need your pasta now, or transphobic, or whatever the fuck he was.
I know.
God knows. I was just down there, and they done the second fucking time I got into the shop, and as soon as I walk in with the trolley, they're like, "We're closing the shop now. We need to disinfect it." I'm like, "For fuck's sake." Slightly racist, maybe. Oh no, sorry.
Because the Irishman has come in.
Yeah, the Irishman walks in. Well, it's not really racism. It's more it's xenophobia, really. But
xenophobia.
The only thing they don't have is kidney beans and kitchen roll. That's all. Everything else, fucking tons of it. It's great. It's not as panicky.
I know kidney beans a big thing in Poland, are they?
No, I like them. I love Mexican food.
yeah, I love them too. Yeah, but I didn't think it would be a culturally kind of necessity
just tin
in Poland.
Food. Lots of tin food. It's kind of stuff is low on, but like I think people are grand over here. It's not as panicky at all, and they haven't brought in the 2 kilometer thing. But I would presume that's because Polish people, almost all of them, commute to work. You know what I mean?
Look at the 2 kilometer thing is only for exercise. That's literally it. So you can drive to Dublin if you have to work from Belfast.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, sure, whatever.
Or shopping, but it was like the initial wording was very odd. Like that, it was like people didn't understand it, and we were on Twitter and we were trying to work it out. A load of people, and it's interesting. The kind of thing that happens on Twitter in Ireland is that you have people who are like fairly famous people talking to people who are not famous, or just like people or whatever, and no one was kind of going, I don't know what's going on. Do you know what's going on? No one say that in here either. Like. But yeah, it didn't have. But it's like they're releasing the
Who's the most famous Irish person you've ever had a Twitter interaction with?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Do you have an answer to that? I use my brain. I think
mine would be. I was in a Twitter message thing with a few of the guys from the Guardian's Football Weekly.
Right.
It's probably like the biggest football podcast. I know your eyes are glazing over already.
No, but I understand it. I'm just kind of going, I don't know.
No, I got talking to, there's one Irish lad on the podcast. It's called Barry Glendenning. He's really funny. And I got chatting to him, and then other people were called into it. And I was in this chat for ages, and I felt fucking 10 foot tall. I was like, ooh, I'm a football journalist. But yeah, that's about it, really. But maybe, no, I'd say that's about it. Maybe the odd comedian, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Twitter's odd, though, because you can literally talk to the most famous people in the world. Like, I've talked to the guy who writes Batman. You know what I mean? And, like, it's I don't know
have
him,
you, yeah?
Oh, well, I mean, he's on Twitter, and I asked him something ages ago, and he answered me. Like, it's
sound. That was good of him.
Like, or there's, like, especially in comics.
Tommy, was it? Where do you get your ideas from?
Where do you get your ideas? Yeah. What's the story of Batman? Is he gay, or what's the crack? But yeah, it's like, but you know, or like, I mean, I've had a couple of conversations with Jack L. He's into kind of woo stuff as well. But I mean, how famous is Jack L? Like, he's fairly famous in Ireland. Yeah.
He's a good singer.
Yeah, he's a good singer. But so like, it's like, that's the thing about social media, I suppose. It's like the Madonna in the bat going, oh, we're all the same. But there is a kind of a level to, particularly in certain industries like comics, because it's such a niche type thing that, you know, everyone just kind of, because there's also that kind of, you're trying to sell your comic, so you're going to have that interaction with people that you wouldn't normally have.
Yeah. You know? Yeah.
Which I love.
It's mad like that. When I was doing the comedy stuff as well, I was mad like that as well. I think Frankie Boyle followed me at one stage. It's like, holy shit.
Well, there you go. The drummer from Jane's Addiction follows me, which is
nice.
Weird. You know what I mean? Like, so.
That's
and it's not even like one of those, you know, when someone follows, you go, oh, that's cool. And then you look and they follow 6 million other people. And you go, oh, it's not cool at all. But it's like, this drummer from Jane's Addiction, I think he follows like 800 people. So I'm kind of cool. Ooh. You know, it's kind of, that's not too bad. I'm sure it's a mistake and he thinks I'm someone else.
Yeah, I did a video today on social media. It's not out. It'll be out later on this evening. But it's just kind of, yeah. I just kind of put my spin on and why I got out of Twitter, and I only go to it now if I'm beckoned. You know.
Yeah.
If I see there's a notification or an email notification, I'll go and see what's going on. But like, I think for a lot of people, the best thing to do is just unplug. And I said as well that, like, you know, if you are, say, someone like me, a podcaster, or you, podcaster and video maker, and you're selling and your art and your 40 servants, I just made the argument, look, it's just use it as an SEO tool and just try and get people to click your links because it'll help with Google searches. But that's really all it is. It's just a tool.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah.
But definitely, like, the whole, my last kind of, up until, you know, the apocalypse, my kind of interaction with Facebook was definitely, I'm just posting links and running away.
Yeah.
But I've been interacting with it a wee bit more just recently because it's kind of in as much to be in communication with people as it is, you know, like to try and add a bit of positivity, not just that it's a fucking thing.
But like, there's a lot of that at the minute. Like, I mean, you know, I've had people texting and emailing me and whatever, messaging me from, like, I haven't spoken in 5, 10, 8 years kind of thing. How is Spud? All right, how's it going? All right, this joke's mad, isn't it? Yeah, it is, yeah. But there's, and like, I've had poker nights.
Do you remember that fiver I lent you?
I'm in Poland now, lads. That's a week's wages for me, you know. That's going to be what. No, but like, you know, I've had poker nights, drinking nights. It's mad, you know. It's great. I mean, you know, it's great that people are making an effort to make sure that we're not going batshit and murdering our families and stuff.
It is. It's good. And like, there is like the whole kind of solidarity thing, which I do enjoy from the social media kind of outlets, whatever. But you have to be so careful. Like, there is, I don't know who it was, but someone was putting up and said, make sure you curate your lists on social media really, really well, because you can just be popping in to see how Sharon got on with her kids today, and, you know, see someone going the most intense doom porn or something, and you're just going, I didn't need to see that. Now that's wrecked my entire evening.
Yeah.
You know, so just make sure you've people, because I know, like, I mean, I did a video about it, just that the fear is coming from all sides, from everyone. Like, and some people are definitely trying, it's coming from a good place. You know, they're trying to make people take this serious. I can understand that. I think some of them go too far. But some of them are definitely, you know, on the warpath to make sure everyone's as scared as possible. Like, it's just so weird. Like,
yeah, I think, I'm not into it. I'm just stepping away, you know.
Yeah, and you're right. You're right. But it's that kind of because there's an interesting thing that happens at me at the weekend. I pretty much don't be on the computer at all, and I don't have most of the social media on my phone. And my mood can drop a bit at the weekends, and I was thinking, is that the social? Am I not as connected or whatever? And then I was kind of, went on to Reddit for an hour on Saturday night and went, "Oh, don't do this. This is the worst thing you could have done." Oh no, the world is in an awful lot worse state than you imagined. And I think it's just that I spend more time on my own during the week rather than at the weekend, which you have a bit more kind of interaction because you're not at work and I sit and, as you do, mostly sit in a room on your own.
You mean that there's just more kind of time to think?
Yeah, or you're not getting your own kind of headspace as much. Like when you're working, there's a part of my brain that just doesn't switch on, and this other part is. Yeah. So I spend a couple of hours in a different place. So then at the weekend, when you're just kind of sitting there and watching Blippi on YouTube with the wee man, you kind of go, well, what if it is all a hoax and we're all
I better ask Spud because he'll sort me out again. No, Tommy, calm down. It's okay.
I did manage to get you to watch a David Icke documentary though. So
yeah, and it's very good. What's it called? Renegade. It's new, isn't it? Like this year, last year.
Yeah, 2019.
Okay, yeah, it's really good.
I'm not sure it's the most fair representation of David Icke though.
Well, no, I mean,
it definitely puts him in a fantastic light.
Like, it stars him and his two sons, and it was made by one of those sons.
Is it? I didn't get. I didn't understand. All right. That explains all of it. Then.
Absolutely not objective in any way at all. And there's no lizards. Absolutely no lizard people.
No lizards. No. I don't think even the Queen's mentioned once in it either. Like, there's no Jimmy Savile's mentioned in it, is it?
There's stuff about the Queen. He says, but he's kind of arguing. Not arguing, but he's just pontificating on, like, we don't really ask ourselves why she's the Queen and why she has this position. She just is the Queen, and we don't. And basically was just kind of saying we're sheeple and we're not questioning why elites are in the position.
The quote where he says that the reason to end up being king or queen is the order in which the parents had sex or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it's quite good. You get a look into it because most of the dealings, but most of the times I've come across David Icke, he's shouty and aggressive. Yeah. And like I hate that stuff. I mean, I'd rather, like, why can't he just give his thoughts? Because I'm not putting this across properly. He speaks about consciousness and what he believes consciousness and reality are. Yeah. And like I would be of a similar persuasion of what he thinks. Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. Like, we're watching the first half of that documentary. I go, nothing I disagree with at all. And he's presenting it well, and
it's just
that sense that at any moment,
the hatred for the Jews is going to come out, which it kind of does.
Reptiles,
but not in
you mean?
Like we can't say he's anti-Semitic because that's not in the film. But his hatred for George Soros is definitely there, I mean, he does link up why Soros is a shady character, but for me, there's not really enough evidence in it because for me, like his argument of this shadowy cabal of a kind of Illuminati people who control the controlled, you know what I mean? Yeah. They control the controllers of the controlled even, so they control the presidents and the World Banks. Like, look, it's a nice idea, but the thing is that I just think that the likes of Donald Rumsfeld, he's just an arsehole because he's an arsehole. It's not because he's gaining anything by controlling the people. Except money. It's just he's an oil and gas person. So, like, by him being in a position of power and making sure that there's a war in Iraq, it just means that all of his contractors can get fucking tons of work over there. It's not about controlling the Iraqis. It's about him getting his business into Iraq and making billions of dollars. That you know what I mean? I hope he's wrong on it.
So like let's say you were saying it's a nice idea. Well, it's a terrifying idea if true.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But and it's like even the kind of, if you look at any kind of industry that like you could be a part of. Like I know when I was in the music industry, in my kind of limited kind of capacity of the, bands and touring and all that and venues and stuff. There was definitely like any amount of nepotism and favoritism, and your friends got the jobs and all this kind of stuff. So even on that level, on the kind of mundane day-to-day kind of level, of course that just is going to translate to, George Bush is going to give Frank that he knows for 20 years the job,
exactly. Yeah.
In theory, it shouldn't be in politics, but it's like when it happens in politics, I think it more as human nature than a secret cabal of lizards. Or
yeah, I mean,
I hope.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
like, I mean, I do like, and I've been rattling this for years, like even before I was in college and stuff, and I used to write about this in college a lot. Was that like this illusion of power that politicians have over us? You know what I mean? And he talks about that at the end of it as well. And like, I fully believe that. It's kind of like, well, you know what? Like the next time an election comes around and we're all not happy with the government, let's just none of us vote. Like none of us, and just say, you know what? You work for us. Stop giving yourselves wages, and start appointing the proper people who should. Like, you have fucking people with architecture degrees running fucking hospitals. What the fuck are you doing? Like, that's not going to work. That's just going to mean that, like, oh well, I think we should put an extra wing on the fucking hospital. Like,
and a big window. This window would be nice.
And so but I mean, that's just me. I don't want to go ranty about politics and stuff, man.
No, and I mean, it was definitely Russell Brand's kind of approach to it as well, which he kind of came back from it a wee bit, because I suppose it's not actually actionable or doable, or it's not going to happen. There's never going to be a case where people aren't going to vote. And it's, there's like that kind of double-edged sword of it, is that if you don't vote, then in a sense, you're losing your only kind of voice in it. But then the retort to that is, do you really think that's a voice? There's
a couple of good illustrations of this from football. During the Bundesliga about 2 or 3 seasons ago, they were really unhappy with some changes they were making. So what they did was, maybe it's even longer ago, what they did was they would sit in silence all across German football, the top 2 leagues anyway. They would sit in silence for the first 10 minutes. And even if a goal was scored, only like a handful of people would, but like it was just dead silence. Because their thing is like football without fans is nothing. And Liverpool fans did something as well. After they built a new part of the stadium, I think after 77 or after 17 minutes or something, I don't remember. The whole ground just stood up and walked out. And immediately, or not immediately, well, the next business day, the next Monday after that, the chairman and all, they came out and says, okay, we won't put ticket prices up.
Right.
Like, that's showing people have the power. It's just they need to cop on and kind of show it.
And how is that sort of thing organised? Because it's obviously not just young Robbie ringing everyone round on a Friday night going, lads.
It'd be message boards and forums, things like that. Like,
right, yeah.
People knew it was happening.
Right,
even there was an Irish match I was at when the Euros was on in France, and they did because the Irish song is Stand Up for the Boys in Green, but the Northern Irish song is Stand Up for the Ulstermen. So I think it was after 20-something minutes, because remember, a Northern Irish fan had died.
Right, okay.
So on the number that was his age, I think it was 22 minutes or something, all the Irish fans stood up and sang Stand Up for the Ulstermen. So there was a tribute.
That's quite cool.
Yeah. But these are all organised through Twitter and forum groups and things like that.
One of my favourite things of all time, and not being a football fan at all, was when that famous game where Ireland was like, it was in the World Cup, I assume, where they were on the way home, they'd lost, whatever, and then just all sang like for 20 minutes.
Yeah, feels
and like even the players, everyone just kind of slows down and stops.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's no matter what, there's just something, that's the chills down your spine, or there's something, I don't know. I think that I don't know if that exists in. Like there's a loneliness or a sadness that's the lilt that's in Irish people singing that I don't hear in other countries, but maybe I'm just not looking for it though.
Yeah, I don't know. It really shocked a lot. I was at that match. It was dead. I'll never forget it. Oh, it was an amazing moment. And I know that some people slag it off as, what's the point in standing up for when you're 4-0 down and you've been shit all the tournament. But like, my argument is like, but we're showing that like we're still together, we're still one, and we lost all the matches, but we'll still fucking try our best, and we're still together, we're still a one kind of thing, And
that's definitely what I got from it. Yeah, that was the spirit of it. Yeah.
There's great hope. when stuff can be used like that. I mean, I'm seeing it a bit here in Poland. I don't know what Ireland's like, but there's a great community spirit now here in Poland, and like they'll always say, any Polish person you ask will tell you this. It's a very divided country on a lot of things, like, because there's the kind of more liberal people and the more conservative people, and they'll fight over fucking anything. They'll fight over the shade of white, you know. But when something like this happens, like, it's really together. It's great. It's really, really cool, you know. And then we get on a podcast and make fun of other politicians.
Yeah, no, over here it kind of, we're back. There was a kind of, well, I'll tell you. When it started, everyone was kind of friendly, and there was a whole sense of coming together, and people would smile and say hello on the street. And then when it kind of the first lockdown happened, everyone got really solemn, and no one would say hello on the street, and everyone was kind of very stiff and you know, afraid. It's almost as if, oh, we have to take this seriously, and saying hello and being kind of friendly isn't being serious or something. But that has come back massively. Like, everyone is now, like, everyone is 100% doing the social distancing that I've come across. Apart from when you can't do it when there's two people in the aisle.
Yeah.
You know, like there's just sometimes when you can't do it. But there is a solidarity which is lovely. You know, like, I mean, and it's like we kind of do have that in Ireland. Like, there's plenty of occasions where we've come together and, you know, different things, but it's mostly through tragedy and, you know, terrible things or whatever. It'd be nice to have that, you know, on Tuesday. Well, I suppose sports is a place where you do see it, that when it's not a tragedy. I know 4-0 and being thrown out of the World Cup, it's a bit of a tragedy, but like it's still like there's still a kind of camaraderie. Yeah. Even in the rivalries, there's still like if there was a local football team and something happens, you know, they come together, like they can see a bigger group.
Yeah. I mean, it's what I like about football. Football is the most important of the least important things, like.
Yeah.
And I'm not the one who came up with it. I don't know who the fuck said that first, but it's dead right. Like, well, for me, it is like, football's not important, even though it's how I make my living. But it's not important, but it's also is important. You know.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing about art. Like, it's not important in the sense of when you're in. Well, as we found out, it's a bit more important than we thought. Like, it's not as important in the sense of having food on the shelves of the local Tesco is important, or, you know, having delivery trucks. But it's important that it's in the sense of that as soon as something like this happened, everyone went to the creative arts themselves to start being creative, and to pass the time. You've your Netflix, your like book sales have massively increased. You know,
sure.
Like, people are doing that. I suppose no one's going around buying more paintings than they were this time last week, possibly. But
no, so probably not. You know.
No.
Should done for a while, you know. So it is. This doesn't have a clip. Tommy, I did a thing the other day about alcohol and reality transurfing, and in it I was talking about these books that I was recommended by you. So so there's Advanced Magic for Beginners by Alan Chapman, and Liber Null and Psychonaut by Pete Carroll. So look, I've only flicked through Advanced Magic for Beginners, and there's some fucking mad shit in it, man. What what the fuck have I gotten myself in for?
Well, you see, Advanced Magic for Beginners it's one of those books that is it's like I don't know, it's way more complicated, or way more deep. They're not the right words. It's way more intense than it would kind of the frivolous name would suggest. You know, in the kind of it's Advanced Magic for Beginners. It's obviously, you know, what's that about? And it's written quite simply in that it's not compared to, say, other magic kind of books, especially the ones from the late 1900s, early 20th century, which is all, flowery language and, binds or blinds even, and, over explaining things to the point of, over, confusing things and all that. So it's quite succinct in many different ways, but the ideas in it are mental, and they're full on, and it's like really, I find, getting you to test what is reality, what is magic, what is consciousness, what are we doing here, what is it like? And the whole kind of, one of the big things in chaos magic is this idea of belief as a tool, where beliefs aren't something that's given to you, that aren't concrete, that aren't something that is, I suppose, in a sense, something you have a control over. That the sky is blue, that's it, we believe it, end of story. And you go, but what if? And that's chaos magic is, what if I decided it wasn't blue? How does that affect my life?
Okay.
And I probably mostly wouldn't, but like it might. It depends on you know your that's what you're doing or whatever. But in advanced magic for beginners, Alan Chapman's one of these people who people really really like, and other people really can't stand. I really like him. I've spoken to him a number of times. I did a podcast with him a couple of years ago. Did artwork for his site, all of these things. So I'm definitely in the fan camp of the whole thing. But again, as with anyone, I don't go the full way with him. There's parts of it that, you know, I just, not that I necessarily disagree or think are wrong. I just go, that's just not what I'm doing, you know. So it's
why is this book such like? Because I know on Adventures of Moo, you have this as one. I think it's the first book you have to read. But I've seen it as well on other things, like because I was googling chaos magic books to learn about chaos magic, whatever, and it's always there. Like why? Like if it's something that's like it sounds that it's complicated, but if it's something that's it's complicated but written in an easy way, is that the only reason that it's recommended so much, or what?
No, I think it's, well, because he did a website, him and another guy called Duncan Barford, called The Baptist Head, which ran for years. And there's 3 other books of collections of those blogs, which are amazing. They're really good. It's like magic from a kind of meditation point of view, kind of trying to gain enlightenment in a sense, or becoming awakened. And Alan has since probably more gone into the kind of that area than chaos magic proper. He would still, well, I don't know if he actually would call himself a chaos magician anymore. I think he probably wouldn't, but he definitely was doing it all from a chaos magic approach, kind of looking at the, you know, the meditation Buddhist kind of stuff, from a wizard's point of view, if you want. So that was very popular. So he was a big name at one stage, and it was he was probably the equivalent of what a Gordon White is now, before Gordon White. You know, there would have been just previous to that. So that kind of I suppose, rock star wizard kind of thing in that kind of sense. So he'd be known from that. So a lot of people would recommend it from that kind of era. But why I recommend it is because it's very practical, and it kind of puts the whole emphasis on the magic practice back on the reader or on the magician themselves. And it's like kind of, rather than a kind of list, even there's a great list in it, a 4-part list, but it's of do this, get, you know, and this is the result you get. It's try this, see what happens, and, you know, make your own decision about it, you know. And then it's like one great example in it is called do a sigil for something, like say to see a squirrel dancing. Right now, and then get to see if the squirrel dances, whatever it is, and then now next week take the same exact sigil, but then decide that it means something else.
Oh, okay.
And that it means a blackbird, I don't know, pooping, and then see if that works. And if it works, that's interesting, isn't it? What does that tell you about sigils? And if it doesn't work, that's interesting. What does that tell you about sigils? So there's no kind of answer. He's not kind of saying this is what a sigil is. It's saying like how do you interact with a sigil? How does the world interact with a sigil? And go and fucking do it, you know. And rather than trying to, because you get an awful lot of questions, and I understand, and I probably posed many questions similar. It's like, is it okay to do a sigil like this? And kind of my response is always, in a very friendly manner, obviously, is try it. You know, just see. You know, like what's the worst that can happen? Like, well, I suppose people do have a fear of, I don't know, something bad happening with it, but like
smoking cigarettes with Pan and drinking a bottle of whiskey with him. That's what I'm on this fucking journey for. Yeah. I'm gonna regret that. It's funny that when we're talking about this, there's a little rabbit over your right shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder. That's your right shoulder. Up on your bookshelf. Turn around, the other way. You're the right.
Oh yeah. That's the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland.
Spud's going down the rabbit hole here, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a big thing going on at the minute, though, that a lot of the celebrities, part of this hoax that's going on at the minute, is something to do with a white rabbit. That's the Tom Hanks angle. There's a white rabbit thing going in with this. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, he's back home now. You know that. He's back in America now. Yeah.
Or is he? Is that not just a robot?
I wonder who he's been ratting on, you know? Still, like, I have so many questions on it because I don't know how far I'm going to go into this before I go, no, it's too much. Like, that's what I'm afraid of. You know
well, here's the question. What is too much? What have you already decided is too much?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you too much for me. Too much for me is summoning demons and all that kind of stuff because I just don't believe in them.
Right. Okay.
You know, but like I also like okay, like I'm asking myself, would I summon God? Yeah, I'd do that for
Yeah.
the crack, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
really take it seriously. And I know that like the lads listening to this are probably rolling their eyes on, oh, moron. But like,
Why do you think that? Because I would say most people, that like, not most people, a lot of people wouldn't like. Why do you think there's people rolling their eyes at that kind of sentiment?
I don't know. I have a kind of maybe it's just I have a tarnished image of Wiccans in my head who are like, oh, what would he know about? He's such a fucking. And then they'd use that word that the Harry Potter people use for normal people. I don't know what it is because I fucking hate Harry Potter.
Muggles.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
Spud the Muggles. Yeah, what it. No,
Spud,
but
you have not been a Muggle in a long while. You're like one of the most woo-tastic people I know on the planet these
like
days.
you see, the thing is, like with me and this kind of journey on the woo, it's because it's just I'm an inquisitive type of fucker, and I want to kind of just kind of dip my toe in here and there and say, right, that's interesting. Why does that happen? Why does that happen? Because I've definitely come over to the side of thinking, right, we are all connected in this weird fucking thing, and maybe by writing some squiggly lines you can affect it, but maybe you don't. But like, it's worth a shot,
Well,
But
see,
as
that's the
well-
whole thing of chaos magic, is that it's a subjective experience of the world or of magic or whatever.
Yeah.
And for you to go, oh, well, I'm the demons and all that, fine. Like me, I'm
I know.
massively. I'm not actually convinced on demons as anything other than an idea, but with the caveat that I'm not massively convinced that Tommy Kelly's anything more than an idea as well. So it's like,
I get you.
but it's like Aleister Crowley. He had, when he did his introduction to the Goetia, which is the most well known kind of ring a demon, give me some money book that there is. He calls them in, and I think he's 27, 28 at the time. It's early in his kind of life. I could be wrong in that, but it's early. And he says they're nothing more than aspects of your mind.
Yeah, so it's an archetypes kind of thing, yeah.
Well, but more. But archetypes are more, I suppose, a universe, like the mother, the father, rather than Boone, which is a demon. Well, it's not. It's more of a thought form, like a servitor, that kind of thing. If you want to see it in that way, some people think Boone is an actual demon from hell.
Yeah.
And fine. So he thought of them as parts of your brain, not more than parts of the brain or whatever. He seems to have somewhat changed his mind about that later in his life, or at least engage with them in a different way. But from a chaos magic point of view, it's irrelevant whether it's a demon or not. It's if I act like it is a demon, does it get me what I want?
Yeah, but aren't you trying to trick yourself into believe it if you don't really believe it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Podcast over then. Bye-bye.
But it's like this thing. It's like even taking a very kind of non-magic, but it is magic and stuff. Like, how else do you engage the placebo response without trickery? So you trick yourself into believing something to get the result you want, and we're fine with that.
Yeah.
In
I
a
get you.
placebo sense.
Yeah.
And like, there's no one coming up to someone, after curing themselves using a placebo, go, you're only fooling yourself. That's not real. And if you do that, they get sick. Like, there's that great story, not a great story, it's a terrible story of a guy who had, I don't know.
AIDS cancer.
Exactly. And to give him this, it wasn't a placebo, to give him an actual treatment that, they thought would work, whatever. And 20 years later, fully cured, the whole thing, reads in the newspaper that was a study done that the tablet he took for it was all rubbish, it didn't do anything, and he immediately died.
Bollocks.
But it's kind of good. He was fine up until he knew that. But there's an interesting thing going on with placebos, is that now, again, depending on who you read, but the placebo response is getting stronger over the last while. It used to be, I don't know what statistics are, but say it was 50%, it's now 52, 53, which statistically is massive.
Yeah.
But also the lessening of, if you tell someone it's a placebo, there's this kind of thing, we know what placebos are, I don't care. And it doesn't seem to disengage the placebo response.
Yeah.
The nocebo response is the scarier one, that if I tell you something that you think will harm you, it harms you. Like, so that's.
Don't do that. Why would you do that?
But I mean, then
Be
people say
nice.
that's what voodoo is and stuff like that. But voodoo is a very kind of well, mainstream voodoo is just Hollywood voodoo. It's not really what it is. Anyway, that kind of voodoo doll thing. Sticking pins in.
Yeah.
That's not. That's voodoo dolls for the most part. Puppets are used for healing,
All right.
not for the destruction.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Like I like. I think it was. Yeah, it was. It must have been Grant Morrison was talking about how. How did he put it? That these kind of gods are just representations of different parts of your character. I suppose it's like what Crowley was saying then.
Yeah.
But he obviously looks at the hero stuff. Like Flash is who? Who is Flash?
Hermes.
Yeah. Jupiter is Superman and so on and so forth. Apollo. I don't know my gods. I haven't a fucking clue.
Yeah.
But see, I would just probably look at the Celtic stuff because I like the Celts. I think they're fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I need to look into stuff like that and see Like I think Dagda was their main god, and he had like a club cock.
Right, yeah.
His dick was so long it dragged on the ground, and he was a big giant, and he had one eye, and he used to kill people with a club. That's my type of god. I got to be honest. Like.
Well, that's it. I mean, it is finding the thing that you're into. And Alan Moore is a very interesting one in that he said he came across this god, and I can't remember its name for the life of it, but it's a Roman god, a snake god. A sock god in a sense, but it's like it was a joke. It wasn't considered a real. It was a made-up god by the Romans.
I remember him talking with this. Yeah.
And he was saying that. Well, what happens if I start worshipping that? Well, something weird happens, something bad happens, and if something good happens, well, so he does, and he gets the things he wants, and he went victory. And they look like what's the difference? It's like
and so like on like how big of an umbrella is chaos magic? Like because just from flicking through that book, there's bits of Buddhism, there's bits of Well,
it's I suppose the confusion is kind of seen as eclectic magic. It's kind of stealing from the thing. It's the umbrella. My thing of chaos magic is that it takes in everything. But Buddhists wouldn't think they are chaos magics. Magicians. Like Hindus wouldn't think they're chaos magicians. But I, as a chaos magician,
think you are
can steal from wherever. I mean. Without getting into cultural appropriation and that entire argument, that's all of that stuff.
Did you assume my gender?
But it's like it literally is everything because if it's a subjective experience, it's whatever you experience. So like it's the entirety of the universe or the world or.
But Jesus, Tommy, it must take you fucking years then to find your little niche in it, because if you have to, well, not have to, but. You flick through his book and you'll say, right, I could give that a go, I could give that a go, I could give that a go. No, I don't like that. I like that. Like, it could take you years to find out what kind of suits you. Yeah, but it does.
But it's also you could say the same, and I suppose we do have it. So you could say the same about Netflix, that would take you forever to do. And I suppose we do spend a lot of time looking through the different.
Not if you have the Polish version, Tommy. It's awful.
Well, you're naturally going to gravitate to certain aesthetics. You're going to gravitate to different things because you have a kind of a. An innate sense of magical fashion in a way, or something like you're not going to go the demon way, and you've already decided that that's not for you, and probably would go more reality trance surfing because that didn't take you years to find. You've already have a kind of a delineation in what's for you, what's not for you.
Yeah.
Or you could do sigils, or you could do kind of things. That's just, I suppose, if you look at someone like. The Sinful Lecture with Grant Morrison, and you can go, well, like he throws out loads of names there. So if you like Grant Morrison, then probably the next thing you're going to do is look at the Robert Anton Wilson stuff that he talks about in that. Or it's like everyone leaves some breadcrumbs for the further study. It's the notes at the back of the book or whatever.
Like, it's like when you're young, like you like Oasis, and then you discover, Jesus, they're terrible. But they were listening to Slade and Mud. And the Beatles, and then you're like, wow, this shit's amazing. But everything just eventually leads to Led Zeppelin, really.
Even the Beatles all lead to Led Zeppelin too. But what you will find though is that once you get into magic or the occult or whatever you want to call it, you will have a sizable book collection that you probably didn't have beforehand.
Yeah,
it's part of it.
Yeah, you're costing me a lot of money at the minute, man, and fucking with the impending apocalypse and running short on funds here, Yeah. See, I like everywhere you kind of read on it, it's like, what is it? And it's also very fucking different. And I think for me to wrap my head around at the minute, it's too big. You get me?
Chaos magic.
Yeah.
And, right, so we'll take it down into its kind of core fundamental things. The whole idea of chaos magic is the opposite of what's happening to you. It was looking at all the things and, you know, kind of getting it down to its essence, to the bit that actually worked, and then releasing everything else as kind of dross, or as, you know, get rid of the dogma, get rid of all the kind of ceremony around it. Why is it that this magical thing, what is it that works? And from a chaos magic point of view, what they decided it's the thing that works is belief. It's the belief of the magician. Now, today, not every chaos magician would agree with that, and there's plenty of kind of thing and all that. But in a kind of very fundamental chaos magic, it's belief. This belief is a tool. Belief is the agency of magic. And so if you take it as that kind of very simple kind of thing, you don't have to go all around the thing. You can just go, well, what do I believe? And what would I need to believe to get to the place where I want to be? And then go in that direction.
Yeah, and it's hard for my like former Catholic mind to deal with that, because that sounds like you're making a deal with the devil.
Yes,
but I mean, not the devil, but I mean, you know, figuratively, I'm talking.
Oh
here,
no, absolutely. But yes, but like, I mean, magic is, you know, it's of the devil's, you know, kind of kingdom and all that kind of stuff. In certainly from a Catholic point of view or whatever, you know, it's about taking the power back yourself rather than, in a sense, seeking it outside of yourself, or, you know, petitioning a God who may or may not exist, and may not like you, and also may not answer you for the crack. You know, it's just like, or to teach you some sort of lesson, or some kind of weird. Whereas you go, right, thanks very much, Jehovah. I'm going to be over here actually doing the stuff. You know,
It's still a lot. It's a lot for my head to wrap around, because I don't know. I think I'm still kind of looking at it from like, right, how to be objective about this and not be judgy. Not be judgy even, but like, you get what I'm trying to say?
I do, yeah. But it's like, it's stop being objective about it, be subjective about it. You know, like,
yeah.
But like the kind of, you know, when nothing is true, that whole thing, nothing is true, everything is permissible, or everything is possible, whatever way you want to state it. But it's like, you get to decide what is true.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and it's not kind of seeking or needing validation from outside for your inside to be true. In that you can go, well, what is objectively true about the world? Well, for one, you have no way of ever knowing that, because you have never had any experience outside of your own self.
Sure.
So you look at, and that's not even what you see. It's, you know, or I see upside down and see every other colour other than the colour you've translated in your brain, all of these things. So I mean, what you're viewing of the world is a limited kind of expression of the world turned upside down, and the opposite. So even you know, kind of thing. And like, there's no way of falsifying solipsism anyway. And solipsism is the idea that you are the only kind of consciousness that exists, and everything else is a figment of your imagination. Whereas idealism goes the step further of everything is consciousness, but you exist. You know, it's not just my consciousness, it's a greater consciousness, and me and you exist within that consciousness. So it's not just I'm the dreamer, it's we are both dreaming this.
Whoa, man.
Yeah. Which I like. I like that. And then you know, and then you can get into, you know, the Cartesian thing of I think therefore I am, so it's all just about the kind of very logic thing, and blah blah blah. Blah.
See, I think there's just a little bit of resistance in me towards maybe stuff I don't know or something, but like from a transurfing type of thing, you know, just let go of it and go with the flow and see what happens. And that's kind of what's led me to here anyway. Do you know?
Yeah.
It's just that, all right, sure, yeah, whatever. Let's have a chat about this, and maybe I'll get into it, maybe not. And then,
are you kind of worrying in a sense of going that at some point I'm going to not be able to go with this? Like,
exactly. At some point, I might just, you know, after reading a ton of books, just say, nah, don't get it. And I'd hate to have invested all that time and to have wasted a lot of your time. You know, just
I know. Like, I mean, but like, that probably won't go away, because I still have like many moments like that where I'm going, what am I at? This is ludicrous. But and then you know, like, there's definitely a period in my life where I had this really hang out with Dawkins and Hitch and Sam Harris, and kind of, excuse me, in a sense, to test the ideas that I thought, like kind of go, it's great having these ideas and all that, but like what you can find yourself doing is not listening to opposing opinions in case they change your mind about it, and you kind of go, oh right, well I really have to listen to those opposing opinions because if there's a chink in this armor in the most non-racist kind of use of that word, is the then I need to know it. I need to, because that's the kind of thing sitting in the background going, where you go, well, why is my magic working? Because there's this kind of elf in the background going, you don't really believe it. You don't really believe it. You don't want to look at me. People die horrible deaths. How does that fit in your worldview? And you go, oh yeah, I should probably look at that.
yeah. No, it's cool because I've been doing this thing with, I started writing this story, and whenever I was writing that before, I would always kind of labour over, and I'd just be, my head would be down on the laptop, on the keyboard, just going, where's the ideas? Like, why can't I think of where this character should be going, or anything like that? And now I'm not doing that. Now I'll kind of writing about an hour a day on it, if I want to. I'm not forcing it. So if I do it, I do it. And as I'm writing, I just let it kind of flow out of me. But as well, if I have something that I think is going to be potential problems in it, between two characters, for example, I don't and I used to. I would like have these maps out, how they're going to connect, and notebooks, shit, fucking on walls, horrible, pain in the arse,
Yeah, work.
But now I'm
no fun.
Yeah. But now I'm like, I close it off, and I say, right, the subconscious will work on that.
Yeah.
And I have found that, like, a day later, a week later, or whatever, I could be doing something completely different, planting flowers, whatever, boom, have it.
Boom. Yeah,
Phone's out. That's it, like,
Yeah.
So that's the part of this magic, I suppose you call it, that I want to get to know more.
Yeah, well, what you do then is that you stop seeing magic and art as being a different thing.
Right.
It's like that thing, magic equals art equals magic equals art. It's in my head, it's exactly the same thing, other than, say, your canvas is slightly different. The canvas is not your, Word 2000 or whatever you're using. I don't know why you're using Word 2000 in this example, but Word 97. So that's what you're doing in, your kind of your creativity or whatever. But then, your family life could be another canvas. Your work life could be another canvas. You're asserting. Like, so another way of putting it is that rather than art, it's creativity. It's taking a thing that is inside here and putting it out there.
Yeah.
And that's life. All of life is that.
I suppose. Yeah.
And it's like this kind of like, we talked before, well, like at the Alan Moore thing of, so idea space is like, say, somewhere floating above your head in an etheric type thing. And it all wants to reproduce, so it wants to become physical, and so it comes true in some way.
Wants to fuck in my brain.
And, it wants to manifest in this world, or it wants to do things. So, but if you, as you found, if you are trying to force, and let's say this idea is coming down, and it's a spaceship, and it's coming in and go, oh no, you're a motorbike. I need a motorbike. And it's going, well, I'm going to go away. But if you let it come in as a spaceship, and then it comes through, you go, oh yeah, of course it's a spaceship. Because, that's what the idea is. And it's that kind of idea, I suppose, too, of, the expression, you kill your darlings, or that thing, is that don't hold on to anything. Don't make anything precious. Yeah. Because that's the thing that's probably, the stumbling block. And so then apply that to life. Don't make, and it's the, the whole thing in reality. Drop importance. Don't make anything, have no idols. It's the thing in the, the commandments. It's the first commandment, isn't it? And the Lord God have no. It's that thing of don't make fucking idols out of things so much so that it blocks your life, that you can't see past it, you can't do it.
The thing is as well, Tommy, is that like over the last couple of years, this from me, that this kind of, just going into myself and getting to know and to like myself. Like the two things that probably helped the most was like this kind of belief in stoicism, and also the three things, existentialism and nihilism. Nihilism. Which
incidentally, you have a great video and all this that we should link.
Right. And thanks. And it's that, like, existentialism is great because you can say, well, nothing has meaning until I give it meaning. So, okay, therefore, I give this meaning, so let's go with that. Okay, that's cool. So, for example, someone doesn't like football, but I do, so then it's important to me. And then nihilism is just kind of going, well, you know what? It's all meaningless, so may as well have a pint. Do you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like that as well. Like, you know, I am, because I'm just like, at the minute during the whole Corona thing, I am way calmer than I ever thought I would be in an apocalypse situation. I'm just like, it's grand. You know, I'm all right. I have my family. I'm all right. I have food for fuck knows how long. I'm grand. You know, as long as nothing happens to anyone, and I don't, you know, then I'll, you know, stand up and fight. But like, everything's going. I jinxed it now, didn't I?
That's it. Not only is coronavirus going to escalate, World War III is about to happen.
World War III. Thanks, Spud.
Poland is about to get annexed once again.
Once again. And and then stoicism is the easiest thing, because it's just, okay, do you have a problem? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay, can you do anything about it? Yeah. Sure, then don't worry, you can do something about it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Do you have a problem? Yeah. Can you do anything about it? No. Sure, then don't worry, you can't do anything. And it's just, it's so simple. And like, I know the argument is that, like, well, it's not simple, it's not simple. But it can be. I'll
translate that as that if you do that, then you're letting Nazis happen.
No, but like, you know, like, I think it can be if you make it. You can just say, you know what, like, just boil it down to the fucking most basic facts of something and say, right, can I do this or can I do that? Okay, I'll do whatever is the best in this situation, kind of thing, you know?
But the ultimate thing is that, like, for 99% of your problems, doing that is fine and not allowing Nazis. For the 1% that may allow Nazis, we probably all should stand up and go, oh, hold on, Nazi, not happening.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because it's that, that goes back...
Well, can I solve this argument with my wife? No, so I'm not. I'll just leave it. Right. Oh, Nazis! No, there's no Nazis here. Just stop with the Nazis.
No, but the Nazi problem you could have solved. It just didn't. Don't let Hitler out of jail. That would have solved everything. You know, idiots.
Yeah. Give him an art prize. Encourage him. You know, hold him a bit more when he was a baby.
You seen Preacher, did you?
I did. Yeah. Well, no, I haven't seen it. Well, I've read it though.
Oh well, his idea of hell is perfect with Hitler. Hitler's in hell and he's living the worst day of his life over and over and over and over again, and it's fucking such a brilliant idea for what hell could be, you know.
Did they do it in the TV show? Did they?
They did it. Yeah. They even did the stuff with Cassidy in 1916 in Ireland and stuff.
Oh, I must watch it. Well, I mean, I still haven't even watched Watchmen, for God's sake.
Yeah. You know.
So what I would suggest, Spud, for you is, with the whole chaos magic thing, is to not go so broad with it. Like that if you can definitely approach advanced magic for beginners from a very kind of smaller kind of stance, and it's a very practical book. Like very quickly it kind of gets you doing magic and testing things for yourself and kind of finding out the borders of your own kind of world or your own kind of subjective experience. But if you get 10 pages in and you go, yeah, no, that's fine too, like, I mean, of course, like,
I know that.
But Liber Null, which is the other one, I did the study group in it there recently, and I read it more recently. I hadn't read it in a long while. I read it for the study group or whatever, and that's the major kind of chaos magic Bible, if you want, in a sense. That's the thing that got the whole thing in the 1970s, early 80s. You're probably not like that as much, but it's if you want to get into chaos magic, you should probably read it. Like that's kind of. But I don't want to what's the word? I don't want to colour your kind of thing of it. So some people still love it, or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a bit too much dogma in it for a book that claims to be eradicating dogma. That's probably the kind of thing.
It's just kind of, like I said, it's just kind of unlocking maybe creativity or something like that. Maybe that's all I'm after. You know what I mean? Like a better way to be more in tune with being creative. Or
there should be an allowance though when you to allow yourself to appear foolish within it, because that's sometimes it's not good to appear foolish, but in a sense of trying to widen your horizons and to come into thing, you should allow yourself to at least, the kind of thing of being foolish, because what you may think is foolish is the thing that's stopping you. It's the thing that's stopping you from getting where you want, and it could be just like either a shadow thing, or it could be something. Is it a belief I have, or is that a belief my mother has? And when you allow yourself to be foolish, and then it's the very first tarot card, the Fool. He's walking off a cliff. There's a dog woofing beside him. He's happy. What's he getting into? And then it's the Fool's journey, which is the next one. He's the magician.
Right.
So you, in the sense, have to start from feeling foolish. Because you have to let go of all the things that you're trying to let go of. But when you get into magic, you kind of go, oh no, but I have all this. Let it all go. Stop.
Yeah. Well, what's this? Because I've seen you writing about this in your Discord and other people as well. What the fuck is shadow work?
Well, this is the Jungian thing. It's
okay. I know what Jung. Yeah, I know what that means.
It's essentially all the
Carl
bits
Jung.
of you that you don't like to address. That is the asshole that is causing you thing. It's like the victim, the anger, the hatred, the jealousy. The thing that when we all try to tend to think of ourselves as a good person, apart from when you hate yourself, you explicitly hate yourself and you don't, you don't like something. It's the hidden bits of yourself that you need to uncover and walk through, in order to reveal, the thing.
But why do you guys talk about this so much when it comes to magic?
Because it's the thing that, from my point of view or from my kind of experience, is the thing that when you say, why does my sigils not work? Why is my magic not working? Why is my life falling apart? Why are my relationships? It's because of this. This is the thing.
Okay.
This is it's the personal development for wizards that we talked about before. In that, you can do sigils all day for love, but if you're a shitty person, it's highly unlikely that you're going to attract. Whereas work on the stuff, and then your life kind of opens out in a bit. But it's just. It's to internalize the work. It's the alchemical thing of turning the shit into gold. It's working on your person, evolving as a human being, as a spiritual being, if you want to go that far. With internalizing, but with the kind of thing of not to chastise yourself, not to be hard on yourself, not to bully yourself. It's to kind of look at yourself objectively, which you can't do, but like you have to, and go, well, that's shitty behavior that I probably shouldn't do. Where am I getting that from? And let's not do that anymore.
Okay.
And when you do that, from another woo sense, your heart chakra opens that wee bit more, and a wee bit more light comes into your life, and you just kind of can express whatever it is we were expressing a wee bit more. So it just means personal development, the stuff within us that we prefer to keep hidden or we ignore or pretend isn't there, that we have for any amount of reasons. Mostly it's from childhood protection issues where we're trying to protect ourselves from whatever was going on around us. So we made some sort of something traumatic happens in your childhood that you make a false conclusion about the world about, and in a sense you create a belief that you then kind of act out for the rest of your life, mostly unbeknownst to yourself.
So, does that mean that I'm going, like, I could go through this journey and I might end up not hating figures of authority? That doesn't sound like me.
The emotion probably will have no charge to it. In that you'll still have the same opinion about it, but it won't emotionally charge you. You can recognize it.
Oh, so it'll pass over me. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, you're an arsehole politician, but I don't care.
It's like if someone, that whole thing of if someone, say you have a thing about being fat and someone calls you fat and you go, oh, the bastard, and then you're working yourself and you get better and you feel better about yourself physically and someone calls you fat and you just go, whatever. It's that. You still recognise it's still the thing.
Okay,
I
understand.
But one way of gauging when it's shadow, Alan Chapman talks about it in sense of, he calls them roles, which is kind of you play out this acting role, and at some point in your life there has been a transmission of this role, and you can get to that point most of the time, and you can see it happening. I've gone through a number of them, and that's not as woo-woo as it sounds, because when I was doing the therapy, the EFT part of it is so ridiculously similar to it. It just uses different words, but it's still, so it's nearly exactly the same. So there's this kind of roles, things you play out. But when you recognise the role, and in the Alan Chapman kind of sense of it, is when you name it, and there's more to it, but mostly you get the role's name and you see it for what it is, and you can see that there's no blame in either part, because the person who transmitted to you got the role from somewhere else, and we're all playing the same part.
Yeah.
When that next comes up in your life, you won't act on it, and that's how you know you've beaten that role, or you've released that role, or whatever kind of thing. So it's like angry man. you get in, you find out why that happened, you work on it, you do the shadow working, all this kind of things. You're in the situation the next time and you go, oh, look, I didn't get angry. Victory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, fucking hard. It's really hard. Like, you know, it's not easy, and it's not sexy, and it's tough, and there's kind of when you realise a shadow aspect of yourself, and it comes into your consciousness, and you kind of there's an equal parts shame and disgust with relief, and like your breathing kind of goes like, because it can happen with me anyway. It happens very suddenly, that it's like that thing you were saying earlier, that it just arrives someday when you're doing gardening and the idea it solves. It can be a bit like that, but sometimes I can feel it coming over a course of a couple of days, like a train coming towards me. It's very odd, and then it hits and you realise, oh my God, this is what I've been doing my entire life, and there's like shock, shame, embarrassment, and then, oh fuck, I don't have to do that anymore. You know, but like and there is a kind of a relief. Like often I found after I've had a kind of shadow work breakthrough that I've noticed that, fuck, I haven't been breathing properly for years. You know, that you're constantly holding your breath, or, you know, just not, and it's like you just become very conscious of, oh, I'm an asshole, but, you know, I've discovered it. It's okay.
I'm afraid now what I'm going to uncover, because I've been through all this with the psychologist. I thought it was okay, Tommy. I thought it was okay.
But the thing is that you've done an awful lot of the work. You just probably
exactly.
call
Just
it shadow work.
Under a different name, kind of
under
thing,
a different name. Yeah. It's exactly that. It's like, it's what all the stuff you're doing, the thing you're doing now, like you're going through, and certainly all the stuff you've been doing over the last couple of years, whatever, that is shadow work. That's all. It's not, it comes under many things. It's just Jung call it shadow work. Yeah. And people seem to know when you say that what it's referring to.
I know already that I'm going to end up looking at kind of archetypes, and how, see, that's how I use the 40 servants anyway. I said this to you before. I don't see them as outer. I see them as inner, and it's like, right.
Oh, but what's the difference?
Well, yeah, I know, but it's kind of like, I see them as, right, so she's telling me this, and she's telling me that, and he's telling me this. Like, Jesus Christ, obviously that makes sense. I better go outside and do some fucking gardening, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know? Definitely. I see it all as inner rather than outer, and I think maybe it's just because I don't understand it. I don't know enough about it, but when I hear of people summoning demons and all that, I'm like, oh Jesus, fucking Buffy the Witch Slayer, whatever. What was she called? Buffy the Sabrina, whatever the fuck she was. Awful. And like, that's, well, maybe it wasn't awful. It's just that the lads I lived with were fucking obsessed with it. And it just drove me mad. Maybe it's a bit like you and your Pearl Jam thing. You know? So maybe I just have these kind of images in my head of like Dominus Casaragi.
But yeah, but like why in the 70s when they wanted to, you know, because obviously new magic, there was something in it, they also felt exactly the same way. Like Pete Carroll hates astrology, goes, I can't have that. And, you know, so I'm going to come up with a thing which, you know, gets rid of all of this nonsense. Right. Summoning demons, summon things. Like it's, I'm not into summoning demons, but I can have a sock god that works just as well, you know, or I don't have to have any gods, because I don't like the idea of gods where I want to become the god. And it's fine, but the key thing is, though, you can have any idea you want and you can do it. It's when it becomes good magic is when you recognize whether it's working or not. So it's all right going, I'm invincible. I've created a, you know, white bubble of light around me. Great chaos magic. Does it fucking work? No. Then it's not good magic. You know what I mean? Like it's like everything is permitted. Doesn't mean everything works. You know, you're allowed to try it, see what happens.
Yeah.
So if you're not into demons, don't be into demons. I'm not particularly into demons, but like, you know, I allow the possibility of it, because I allow the possibility of everything, because why not? It's not allowing the possibility of, well, no, I'll put it this way. I allow the possibility of other people getting success from that.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't discount it, because ultimately there could be a kind of a, you know, like a role-playing game character traits thing going on where, well, I'm the chaos magician, you're the demonologist, you're the priest, you're the mage, you're the warrior who magic doesn't work at all, or, you know, like, or whatever. We all there might be some sort of magical talent that it mightn't be a universal kind of thing, but I don't know, that, you know, massively speculation and woo-woo and stuff.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't let things that you're not into, I don't decide that that's what magic is. magic.
Yeah, okay.
Particularly chaos
I
magic
getcha.
is the thing you want it to be.
Yeah, because I sent it's from your website. You have a Magic Primer series, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like number one is all these books you should read, and then number two is the Banishing. Banishing, I think I probably would have a problem with, because I would see that as, well, that's just kind of psychological work that you need to work on, because like I think we did speak
Yeah.
about this before. I think about bad luck, and like, you know, you were saying you could go off and do a banishing spell to get rid of this good luck, and then but I was saying like, yeah, but you could just kind of go to why you think that in your head, and then solve that riddle and say,
But it's the same thing. It's just
yeah,
different.
yeah,
different
same
way to do
thing,
it.
except
Yeah.
there's a ceremony with the banish.
Some
maybe
people
it's just,
like that. You know, some people
maybe
like
it's just
the thing.
but maybe it's just I'm against ceremonies. This came up
Which
in the
is-
Satanism
yeah,
as well,
yeah.
you know, because
But I mean,
because you're raised Catholic and you're so used to all these mad ceremonies for fucking every single Sunday is something.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, but like, just cut to the bullshit. Just give me
But
the
the
paper.
other thing is,
just give me the
because you
bread.
come-
Just give me the bread. That's the
Give me the
flesh.
bread.
I
Give me the
want
wine.
the
Give me the
flesh,
wine.
Tommy. I want the flesh.
But the other thing, conversely, though, that because you come from a Catholic background and you see that ceremony is used to that degree, that it could be more real for you to do a ceremony because that's how you do these things, and it's not real until you put the robe on. Not you personally, like the royal you, you know, that you could have.
Yeah.
Which is
I
why
get
they
you.
say that you should start within the paradigm that is most powerful for you, even if it's not the paradigm that you want to ultimately end it up in. Like Catholicism might be, praying to God might be the most powerful thing for you, even though you hate the idea of it, because most of your brain believes that's the truth.
Right.
You know, that the only, like, that I have to get God on my side, or, you know, because you've been brainwashed by the Catholics. So you start there, and what you do is you pray to God to let go of that. And then you can move to the next stage that's closer to where you want to be until you get to the stage. But battling your paradigms that are most active, it's not good chaos magic. You know, take them and use them against themselves. You know, that's
It's the
kind of-
pendulums in reality transfer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Take the pendulum and turn it on itself, or he talks about like how to become a celebrity. And he does, and it's
Right.
It's not mad. It's actually, well, in the book it's pretty easy how to become a celebrity. It's that become the best at that pendulum, and that's it.
Simple.
You know, okay,
Just be the
fine.
best in the world at something.
Yeah, become the best at that pendulum, and you'll be on the road to becoming well known in that thing. So, like, look at you and your 40 servants. That's what you are. You created a pendulum, and you're top dog. You know,
That's it. You know, and then it's the same. Like, there's no way you could not be into chaos magic and have felt kind of affinity with reality transurfing, because it's so similar. It's just different words for same things. Like, you know, like you could call negative pendulums demons. You could call, you know, good pendulums angels if you want, you know, but it's not quite the same. And it's like,
I get you.
It's like,
I still have the card set, and I haven't opened it yet because I'm waiting to I want to finish the book. I'm awful. I'm not. I can't have too many things to read at the one time. Like, you know, I know you're probably itching. Will you fucking read The Invisible so we can do a podcast? Will you? And I will. It's on the list, but I have to finish it.
Because I'm going to read it on Comixology because I have it rather than, you know, the hardback books are gorgeous, but they're not great for reading.
Right.
And I tried to download it last night, and it's going like, no. I was going, what? Why? just work once. What, you know, for the first time, just do it. Just work. No. And I goes, well, maybe it's you know, just Comixology doesn't work. No, everything else download other than Invisibles.
How many books would you have on the go at any one time, like? Jesus, that'll tell you, huh?
I'm definitely reading 10 manga books minimum at the minute.
That's mad.
And I can't read two of the same. I can read two of the same type comics, but I couldn't read two biographies at the same time. Right. So I'll have a biography and, like, say, I could be reading reality transurfing at the same time, or thing, because I enjoy reading, but sometimes I just can't. I've had enough reality transurfing, so I don't want to stop reading, but I want to finish that.
Right. Yeah.
And it's so much easier to read 10 books when you have a Kindle as well than, you know, actual 10 books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, 5 probably is.
5.
Comics, the manga stuff, there's definitely 10, but they're like ongoing series. It's like, I'm watching 10 TV programs as well.
Yeah, I suppose
you
that's
know,
with different age. Yeah, I get you. No, I had it up to 3 was probably my highest, but I'm down to 2 now, and I've kind of made the rule that, like, right, well, one will be a serious book, if you can call reality transurfing, but then the other one is just fiction at night time, and the one I'm reading now is just the worst.
I always have a number of audiobooks going as well at the same time.
For fuck's sake. Jesus Christ Almighty, spongehead, huh?
Oh, well,
All
sure,
that
like,
information going in.
if I don't, then there's that voice in the background going, "What about the New World Order, though? Like, have you thought about reptiles seriously, though? This virus is serious, isn't it? It looks like a psyop, doesn't it? It looks a bit like a psyop. Is this real? Shut up! I'm going to read some Archie talk instead. Oh, okay.
What should I read after these, man?
From a magic point of view, I'd say you should read some Ramsey jokes because he'd be. He's very close and similar to an approach that Grant Morrison kind of have, in that it's magic is attaching meaning to your circumstance. It's like that kind of, rather than items themselves. Materia being magic. It's big. It's a subjective experience. Blah blah blah. All that kind of stuff.
And where do Morrison and Alan Moore kind of differ?
You see, although they hate each other, well, I think Alan Moore hates Grant Morrison. I don't think Grant Morrison cares too much. Alan Moore 100% thinks that magic equals art. There's no creative, and he wouldn't believe in any kind of, I suppose, like it's all kind of archetypes and stuff. Like, he doesn't believe in a kind of an actual reality. Probably wouldn't do sigils. Maybe there's no kind of hyper sigilness to it. It's just the creation of art is the creation magic, all that kind of stuff. Whereas Grant Morrison, I suppose it's all very similar. There is some interviews where he talks nearly exactly like Alan Moore about magic, but he seems to have more of a weird stuff happens magic than
Right.
creativity.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I suppose like Grant Morrison likes going to idea space. Alan Moore likes taking stuff from idea space.
Okay.
Maybe, possibly, but I mean, they're so similar, and I mean, if they just spoke to each other, they'd probably have great crack. But Alan Moore hates everyone, so
Alan Moore does hate everyone. Fucking hell, man.
everyone,
Yeah, no, cool, great. Because I like the thing about what Morrison does, and he wants he'll have something where he wants to try and invoke Hermes or whatever in his head, because but then he says that, right, this is an aspect of my character, but I need to kind of figure out something, so I'm going to talk to him for a while. I think that's bonkers, but
yeah,
it's obviously very, very helpful for him. Like Moore's thing of this idea space, I think that's brilliant. That's just a class idea. I'm sure he's not the one who came up with it, though. Like, that's probably been around for a long time.
Idea space is definitely his kind of term, but like, of course, well, I mean, it's the astral plane is like the old kind of occult kind of thing for it, but it's not. I suppose it's not quite what Alan Moore talks about, but I mean, that kind of hyper thing that Grant Morrison talks about, where you're the larvae and you come through, and then time and all this, you're giving birth to a god through time. In Jerusalem, Alan Moore, there's like a whole middle section of Jerusalem, his last book, is exactly that. It's exactly this idea of time, and people, places get more kind of energized by things happening to them over time, and like this idea of like Land's End and John O'Groats. So that's the either end of England, isn't it? Or connected by ideas.
Yeah.
But they're not connected at all. But they're so close together in idea space and all this. So I mean, it's all very similar stuff. I don't think there's that much. Grant Morrison is definitely more positive than Alan Moore is. Like, Alan Moore is more kind of he would be like the Cali, the destroyer, wants to destroy everything. Comics are crap. Let's destroy everything. Like literally has said many times, burn it all down and start again. Whereas Grant Morrison is like, no, let's take all of these wonderful things and create a new world with it. So it's. I don't know.
Some people want to watch the world burn, Tommy, like me, with a 6-can of beer. And Sky News going, ha 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 ha, I told you.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that when the world burns, you burn with it. That's, it comes and burns your Sky TV.
Hey, man, what a way to go. Go out with a bang, baby. Bye-bye.
Bye.